Alright lads, I just came back from Hamburg and we all learned how to play the guitar. So gang, this is a Gibson J-160E, fabled in song and story as, you know, an early Beatles guitar. This one's actually owned by a prominent local musician, and it's only about 10 years old, but it's got a lot of road wear on it. And it's got a bunch of cracks too. We got some here on either side of the fingerboard. There's a big one that runs along here, and sort of a nasty one that runs right over the lining. So we got to take care of those, but even more concerning is this guy here. This is a split that runs from the sort of the largest section of the upper bout all the way into the lower bout, and it's one of these groovy cracks that overlaps itself so you can't push it back into line. So that'll be fun. I don't know if you can hear that with the furnace and the humidifier running, but there's a buzz. Sounds like a loose brace, but I don't think it is. There's a sort of metallic character to it. After a while you start hearing things and you sort of go back through your mental catalog of where have I heard that sound before. That's what it was. You can see there, this is an interior shot. In the mirror you can see light coming through one of the fingerboard cracks. And I'm not the first guy who's been in here. Someone has come along and shored up a side crack on the lower side there with a big piece of what looks like rosewood. And looks like there's another one just here on the edge of the sound hole, just a little round one next to the pickup there. That's interesting. And there's a little bit of glue. One of these cracks had glue put into it, I think. I'm using a suction cup to pump the glue right down into the top cracks. Okay, I've got my hand inside the guitar, trying to push these two halves into alignment, and it's just not going. There's a little overlap here that I guess it broke in a sort of a angled fashion. I think probably what I'm going to have to do is, yeah, I can see it. I'm going to have to pare away the little piece of wood that's sort of hanging things up. There we go. That feels better. Now that the side is in a flat plane, I can get some glue in there, and then I can put some cleats on the inside to give it support. For cracks on the top, I like to use hide glue or fish glue because it gets really hard. I actually prefer Titebond or like standard yellow woodworking glue for side cracks because it's actually, you know, it'll take knocks better. It's got sort of a rubbery quality to it when it's dry. I mean, it gets hard, but it doesn't get crystalline hard. So if you bump it into a mic stand, it's a little less likely to break free. Just a damp paper towel. You note I left the side dirty. I didn't really clean it before I started gluing it up because all the oils and residue act almost like a wax resist and makes cleanup easier. I'm not putting these on tightly, just snug. I don't want to bow the side in or out, just to make sure that we're level all the way along, and we are. I used Spanish cedar for the cleats, and I'm just using a large sanding block here to refine the profile of those. I use rare earth magnets to provide the clamping pressure for the cleats. The one that goes inside the guitar is lightly affixed to the magnet using double-sided tape, and that prevents it from falling off inside the guitar and gives me a handle. The one on the outside provides good positioning and clamping pressure. So I glue them up, figure out which way I want the cleat to be oriented inside the guitar. That goes on the inside, and I hold the other magnet against the side where I want it, right over the crack. I'm using medium viscosity super glue to both fill up the little voids and also to provide a good sealing coat for the crack. I'm using a razor blade as a scraper here. The tape protects the finish and also acts like a depth stop so I don't go too deeply. After this, I will use various abrasive sandpapers and that sort of thing to take it up to a gloss finish. I'll finish off with some automotive rubbing compound. Okay, it's all buttoned up and ready to go. I got glue in all the cracks and cleats where there need to be cleats. The side took about 10 cleats. And yeah, you can still see vestiges of the repair and the raking light. But in this case, that doesn't bother me so much. I could spend several days building up coats of finish, sanding them back again, doing it over and over until I got true flatness. But that's not what this guitar needs. This one's going to be played hard. It's going to pick up scars and bruises and bumps and a history on the surface. In this case, this is a wound that has been, supported well from inside. It's got a good sealing coat on the outside. So we can consider this one healed, I guess. And it's important to know when to say when and what's good enough. In this case, I think that's good enough for today. Thanks for watching, and I will see you again soon.